It was time to head out of the mountains and back down to warmer climates. On the way, we would learn more about the coffee making process in one of Mexico's most popular coffee regions. We'd get our customary dose of food poisoning and would finally make it down to the Pacific Ocean.
With Christmas and New Year behind us, it was time to start 2025 off with a bang. Our first cycling day of the year started off with us weaving through yet more beautiful Mexican mountain villages full of friendly locals. What really struck us about Mexican people was how laid back and carefree everyone was. There was no shouting, "Look at the gringo," like in some other Latin American countries. Here, people seemed genuinely pleased to see us and would welcome us to their country and into their communities. We found them undoubtedly among the friendliest of our trip so far. It's amazing what kind, caring people do for the morale after a tough day on the bikes, and how much beaming smiles from locals can give us that little bit of extra energy.
The undulating terrain soon turned into a brutally steep descent, totaling over 1,300 meters of wrist-jarring braking. So Hans?
Yes, there's a lot of down. It's very, very steep downhill. Let's go. Another 500 meters down. Los dos. Pero bajamos hoy de San José del Pacífico. Bajada. It's often the case that just when we think we've almost made it to our destination, that a few short, sharp climbs come along and bring us back down to earth. These were among the steepest we've come across, and some were impossible to pedal up with our loaded bikes.
Honestly, the view of the mountains is absolutely incredible here, and it was a really tough cycle to get here. I don't think we ever really pushed on tarmac before. Normally, if we push, it's on gravel, but getting here, it was so steep, and yeah, we had to walk with our bikes. It was just absolutely impossible. But it was worth every drop of sweat. Look at this, incredible. Apparently, the majority of houses you can see in this video belong to the coffee farmers of Pluma Hidalgo. So they get up at 4 in the morning. The cockerels here, don't know if you can see them, they're really active from about 4 in the morning, so it's absolutely impossible to sleep, which is probably great for the farmers. But yeah, what a place. Of course, we couldn't visit one of Mexico's most popular coffee regions without exploring one of its many farms. First, we visited the coffee nursery, where we saw some coffee plants in their infancy stage at approximately 3 to 6 months old.
Listo, Maca. ¿Está bien ahí?
Sí, perfecto.
Okay.
We then got our baskets on and went out to pick some coffee cherries. Luckily for us, it was the right time of the year to pick coffee. Nice plant, this one. Got a lot of coffee beans.
The red cherries were the ones we were going for, and were ready for the depulping process.
Ya segunda calidad, ok. Por ejemplo, estas que flotaron, ¿no? Esta, si nosotros la abrimos, mira, trae 3, ok. Pero esta de acá está seca, ¿no? Es pura cáscara, mira. No tiene nada, ok.
Quita la cáscara.
Sí, esta es la máquina, la expulpadora, la cual remueve la cáscara, la cereza, ¿no? De esta de acá. La saca por este orificio y ya te da el resultado del café pergamino. Quien guste destulparlo.
These are the different roasts after the coffee has gone through the washing process. There's a light roast, medium roast, and varying degrees of dark roasts.
Meant to be cycling today. Why are you still in bed?
Because that's what we like to do at the moment, just get ill from things we eat. Haven't even eaten out in the last couple of days and something is sitting really wrong in the stomach. So yeah, cycling isn't happening today.
We're about to leave Pluma Hidalgo, finally. We came here 5 or 6 days ago. We weren't planning on staying here for so long. I think the plan was to stay a couple of nights to do a coffee tour and then leave, but here we are, another food poisoning, and yeah, I was thinking this morning that in the last 2 weeks we only managed to cycle 50k, and normally it would be more like 500, but we've not been able to cycle at all since Christmas. I got a chest infection and we just started going, and then Steve got food poisoning, and yeah, it's really demotivating. The last 3 months we've just been ill so many times. It's frustrating, but I guess this is part of the trip. It kind of reminds you how much you actually want this, because when you're ill you don't want any of it. You want to go home and you want to feel comfortable and you want familiar things and you just want to feel good. But overall, kind of in the long term, it gives a bit more perspective, I think, of why you're doing this. And you know, every time we get ill and we start cycling again, it's just life feels so much more special, like being back on the road, and yeah, it just makes you appreciate the trip a bit more. And yeah, I'm gonna go down to the coast today. We have about 50 kilometers to cycle, and which isn't much because it's mostly downhill. We have a huge descent, about 1500 meters, and it's really exciting.
Alright. Okay, safe travels.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Ciao. Gracias.
Apart from the minor food poisoning blip, Pluma Hidalgo was an amazing place to visit, and we thoroughly enjoyed our few days there in such a chilled environment and, of course, drinking lots of coffee.
We finally left Pluma Hidalgo. Pluma means feather in Spanish, and the town is named so because of the feather-shaped clouds that form over the mountain ranges. In fact, we were informed that Pluma Hidalgo sits completely engulfed in clouds for 6 months of the year. We dropped down a further 1,300 meters to sea level. It felt like every 100 meters we descended that the temperature went up a degree or two.
Most cyclists going through Mexico follow the popular cross-country Trans-Mexico bikepacking routes, which are also meant to be spectacular. We felt like we needed to see the ocean though, so opted for a different route, and we're glad we did.
Oh my god! Wow, look at the colors!
We are here in what feels like a different country. Tropical San Agustin on the Pacific coast. And it is so hot. Temperature has just, since we descended 1500 meters, it's gone up to about 30, 32 degrees. It's really humid. Like palm trees and peacocks, and we've seen some iguanas. So really massive change here, but it's quite a nice change actually. A really nice part of Mexico. The beach here in San Agustin was everything we could have hoped for. Spacious, clean and very quiet. The plan was to take another day off here and do something a little different.
Oh my god.
We are going snorkeling in the Pacific Ocean.
Playa de Escalillo was a perfect little beach for snorkeling. The reef was beautiful, full of colorful fish, and the best part was that we could just walk into the water and explore as much as we want. There were no choppy boat rides involved to get to a reef, and it cost us only a few pesos to rent snorkeling gear.